Movie I premiered at the 2021 Sundance, finally hitting theaters, Nina Thyberg's Pleasure.
We're going to try and talk about this without getting dinged by YouTube.
Yeah, well, I think we can. I believe
we're going to try and not get too graphic here in our discussion of this film that takes a really clear-eyed and no nonsense and understated look at the adult film industry.
I want to be the best.
No, the leg, no, the foot, and open the knee.
All right, elbow like this, and then for the butt shot. God, look at you. You got a little butt on you.
This is the feature debut from director and co-writer Nina Thyberg. She's Swedish, and it stars Sofia Kappel as this young woman who goes by the name Bella Cherry. And she comes to LA from Sweden with dreams of not just stardom, but a very specific kind. And she wants to be a star in the adult film industry. And it's about her journey as she figures out what she has to do to achieve that, and the crazier and crazier stunts that she's willing to pull off, and the more dangerous scenes she's willing to do as she strives for this fame and this notoriety. Sofia Kappel is amazing. This is her first film ever. This movie asks a lot of her. Oh goodness. I was so uncomfortable so many times because of the things that she's willing to do, and it crosses a line and goes way beyond that line a lot of the time, and how she figures out a way to try to feel safe within these situations. It's also just about the mundane elements of film production.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's like lighting or camera angles or lube or douche or, basic, not sexy stuff to make a film look sexy. And all that stuff was really interesting, was presented without judgment, without gawking, in a way that is really understated and clear-eyed and dispassionate, which is a fascinating approach to take in an industry that is all about supposedly manufacturing passion. So.
Right. Well, what I think is really interesting about this movie is that very often when mainstream movies decide to take this on as a topic, it's always in a very kind of pearl clutching, oh, isn't it terrible? Oh, how sad kind of mode. And you're right. I think this is very clear-eyed and very sort of dispassionate. A lot of people who are actually in that industry make up the supporting cast, playing people that are her co-stars, her friends, her rivals, her directors. But what I also like about this movie is that you could set this story in the world of high finance. You could set it at a Hollywood studio. Yeah. It is about what work demands of people, and what work demands, I think, specifically of women, in terms of what kind of behavior from men are they expected to tolerate? How willing are they to throw their female comrades under the bus? And, like how much of the toxic patriarchy can seep into women as they become more successful and inflict upon others that which has been inflicted upon them. So again, yes, I think it's very vivid, if you'll pardon the word, to put it in the world, this particular world. But I think that it applies to the workplace in general, which is what makes it such a universal and powerful story. This is a hard sit at times, but it is brilliantly acted. Rebecca Ann Roysel, who works, her professional name is Zelda Morrison, who plays her Bella's friend and roommate, got a Spirit Award nomination for this, and the film got several other nominations. And I'm really glad that Neon committed to releasing this film unrated. Like A24 originally picked it up, but they wanted to put out like an R-rated version and then an unrated version. And Nina Thyberg was like, no, this is my film as is. I want it to go out this way. And so Neon committed to her vision and are putting it out that way. And I really admire that, because it is a film that pulls no punches. And I think you really need to take it all in the way that the filmmaker intends. One of my sort of favorite kind of pairs of scenes that I think really kind of captures what's going on here. She does this very sort of like heavy, bondage scene with a company that is clearly run by women, where the only man on set is basically her scene partner. And they're constantly like making sure she's okay, like physically and mentally, checking in with her, like, being very clear about, what her comfort zone is, and making sure that she's being taken care of. And then at another point, she's doing a rough scene that's all men involved, and And not only do they sort of like manipulate her into finishing a scene that she doesn't feel comfortable doing, but they do so using this weirdly sort of like feminist consent language that they're weaponizing against her. And I just thought, whoa, that is, I'm sure, the kind of thing, as much as we think that like Me Too is going to change everything,
Right.
it's just going to give these the worst of men, the most manipulative men, a new vocabulary to gaslight women with.
Yeah, and there's a whole bait and switch with that scene with those guys, because you think that they are one way, and then they
Yeah.
truly reveal themselves, and that shift goes like that. And I can't even imagine how terrifying that would be to be in that situation as a young woman by yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then like I love the friendship between her and the Zelda Morrison character, and there's another woman who is like an older adult film actress, and like that camaraderie is like raw and funny and true, and there's like a sweetness to it which is unexpected within this setting,
Right.
you know, that they look out for each other and they're loyal to each other,
and it provides stakes as Bella climbs the ladder, you know.
Yeah, no, this is really good. As you say, it is a very tough sit and definitely not for everyone, but really well done in a low budget way for sure. So I'm saying 8.3. I mean just plain old 8. What are you saying?
I said 8.5.
Okay.
I think, and also this is, I think, ranks with the great LA movies in terms of the way they shoot the valley and the city, and the way that this industry can be in like these gaudy sort of McMansions, but also in like a warehouse somewhere, you know.
Yeah, it portrays this industry without any kinds of cliches, for sure. So our number is 8.3. Pleasure is where? In theaters?
It is exclusively in theaters right now. I imagine it will be, you know, streaming within a few months. So as you said, not for everybody, but if this sounds interesting to you, and you should definitely check it out. I think Nina Thyberg is a filmmaker to watch.